Welcome to the Investing Podcast, presented by Tusk Media. Now, for your early morning look at financial news and activity in audio and video form, here's the Morning Market Mimosa.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Investing Podcast. It is Friday, August 19th, 2016. Ben, we made it, man.
We made it.
End of the week. Kind of a crazy week. We're going to touch on that a little bit at the end, as well as look forward to next week. But yeah, I feel like we've missed more of these than we would like to, so sorry about that. I've been a little under the weather. Ben and I have both had a ton of meetings and things like that have kind of pulled us in different directions. It's just been a crazy week.
It has, yeah. We've both. It's some good meetings though too.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot, I think, and we've enhanced our knowledge. And
Yeah. So not a bad week, and I think next week's gonna be a little bit calmer. Just looking at my schedule, I don't know about you, but I think we'll be able to hit kind of all of these as well as get some long form stuff out that we'll tell you guys more about at the end of this. But this is the Morning Market Mimosa, so we will jump in right now and take a look at futures. Futures are down across the board. Ben, we call it a greengasm when everything's up. We're looking at a redgasm right now. Not exactly how you want to end the week. But Dow futures down 33 basis points, so right at a third of 1%. S&P futures down 34, NASDAQ down 34 basis points, gold down 73 basis points, oil down 29 basis points, but still trading above $48 a barrel, which a couple weeks ago seemed like incomprehensible.
Yeah, I mean it's below 40.
Yeah,
now it's now pushing 50.
Yeah, it's had a crazy run. We'll have to. Ben wasn't here the last time we broke 50, but we'll try to recreate that celebration if we get above $50 a barrel. And we'll get the cash cannon over here. Matt Burton has a gun that shoots cash.
Oh yeah.
So we loaded it up with $50 and sprayed it all over the place. And it was awesome. And that was back when it was in my office. So I'm still finding $1 bills under my desk. So that's pretty great. Yeah. Deere. John Deere, interesting kind of take on some of this. You continued to see, as they reported, you continued to see a lot of negativity, but they also bumped up their full year guidance in terms of earnings. What are your thoughts on Deere?
Yeah, and they brought down sales guidance too. So
so basically a margin story.
Making good progress on costs. Those decremental margins doing pretty well, I guess. Interestingly, in terms of the overall macro climate, the only segment that they actually did anything to in terms of their view was the construction industry, which they lowered to, now they expect it to be down 18% this year. Previous expectation was down 13%. Wow. It's just been tough in machinery over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and the stock, last I checked, is just kind of hanging tight. Not moving a lot. Looks like it was maybe down about 0.5%, something like that. So not moving a whole lot, but an interesting story there nonetheless. Foot Locker had a strong earnings beat. I haven't read the whole report there, but it's interesting. The stock's up 4%, beat expectations. When was the last time you went into a shoe store, especially like a mall-style shoe store?
I don't remember. I get all confused with them. Like some of them are wearing referee outfits. I don't know.
They're just enforcing rules here. Or what's? Yeah, it's kind of odd. I mean, this is another. We've talked a lot on this podcast about online retail versus traditional store retail. But usually when we're having that conversation, we're thinking more traditional big box stores. When we've had those conversations, whether it's a Walmart or a Best Buy or whatever it may be. But these smaller stores within malls, I mean, I go into a mall maybe twice a year. Usually it's us returning something we got that we don't want to deal with the hassle of shipping or something like that. Or maybe somebody's getting married and we have to go, my wife and I will go buy a wedding gift that's on a registry at Macy's or whatever it may be. And I see these Foot Lockers, Champ Sports, all the other ones. I can't even remember all of them off the top of my head, but there's all of them. But they never seem to have anyone in there other than referees.
Right.
So apparently somebody's going in there buying shoes. So I guess
buying $250 pair.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's my issue. I need to buy higher quality basketball shoes. Gap. Speaking of stores that you might see in a mall, what are you thinking?
Yeah, they adjusted guidance to $1.87 to $1.92. Street was looking for $1.94. The CEO says they're going to ride the rise in denim. Now, last couple girls I've dated said like denim's been here for 10 years and I still haven't got on board. So, I guess like maybe I'm with the CEO. Like I just haven't appreciated this, but it seems to me like the trend's been around for a while.
Yeah, denim's of all the trends you could pick to really ride, I don't know that denim is one of them.
Right. Yeah. So they're calling that. It's just been they've had some management issues. They lost the Old Navy business that was actually doing quite well. He went to run Ralph Lauren last year, and he was running the only segment that was actually doing well. And so maybe the comps get easier in the back half of the year. I haven't looked at it too closely, but that it's not, again, these niche retailers where you have to go into the store.
Right.
It's a tough business for them.
I mean, maybe I can help them rally. I am wearing a pair of Gap khakis right now, so maybe they can ride the rise of the investing podcast and the khaki pants tied there too. So that maybe that's what they're seeing. That could be real solid growth for them. Trump, the story that keeps on telling itself. He had kind of a classic non-apologetic apology, as you kind of put it in our pre-production meeting, which is what we call it when we're walking over here talking about what we're going to talk about. How much can he come off of the things that he has said?
It's tough. I mean, I think, I think the people who aren't going to support him aren't going to support him.
Right.
But those people on the fence, maybe he's trying to target them. Honestly, I don't know how it's possible to really be too much on the fence with kind of the polarity of the race. But, they're definitely, look at some of the polls and it's like 43-43 or 43-37. I mean, that's a lot of undecided voters.
Yeah, he's kind of all over the place, and his apology was basically kind of a blanket. I'm sorry if you've ever been offended by something. Right. I said, sorry that you're so easily offended. But yeah, I don't know how he can really walk these things back without at least issuing something with some specifics.
Right.
But that being said, when we talk about Donald Trump's presidential campaign, the last word that comes to mind is specifics. We're not getting a lot of those in any way. We got to talk about the Olympics. I think a great segue between the investing and political climate and all those conversations would be to talk a little bit about ratings and things that we're seeing there. So how has this performed on NBC?
It's been rough. A couple months ago, the head of NBC Universal came out and said, my nightmare is if I wake up and our ratings are down 20% versus the last Olympics. And, you're thinking, you're comping against London, you're in the similar time zone now, so 20%, that's a little bit excessive. Well, Wednesday night came out, ratings are down 17%, 25% with not even millennials, 18 to 49-year-olds.
Which is that crucial demographic
right.
Everybody loves.
I have some numbers about the actual breakdown. So you think, well, maybe everyone's watching online, right? They got 230,000 online viewers on Wednesday night compared to 20.7 million network viewers. So network is still dominant. You can double online viewers all you want, but if it's going from 230 to half a million,
it's not going to make a difference.
Wow. And so the nice thing about NBC is that they've only got it locked up until 2032, so they only have to ride another 16 years of this. So hopefully the trends change, but where the next Olympics?
Yeah, so we're basically going on an Asian tour after this. I mean, we're going to be all over it, and again, that just seems like such a battle when the coverage is hard to present live. I think last night I watched Usain Bolt run the 200 meters. I mean, he's the most fun athlete around. Like, he's so loose before the race, has a great time. But you think of that, and if that event isn't happening live in a time zone that I can relate to, I'm not watching it because it takes 22 seconds to watch the highlight on Twitter. And so it's gonna be a long stretch. So I think 18, 20, and 22 all in Asian locations before we get any rest from that. And I'm honestly not sure about 24.
I think there are a few European countries battling forward, and I think LA might be in the running for it.
Yeah. So hopefully, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of bleak.
Yeah.
Kind of bleak. And I think also you kind of have this trend of, Michael Phelps, for lack of a better word, has been kind of appointment television. When he's swimming, everyone in the country has tuned in, not just because it's the Olympics, not just because it only happens every 4 years, but because he's a true once in a ever type of Olympian. And we've talked a lot about him. Usain Bolt, I mean, I remember watching him run in '08, and ever since then, he's been kind of appointment television.
Right.
You've got to watch that guy. And you're not going to have the star power coming back because Phelps is going to be done. Bolt has said he's going to be done. Even if they do come back, they're not going to be at their athletic peaks anymore. And you look at Usain Bolt, probably the greatest track and field athlete of all time. He has a chance to win his 9th gold medal tonight, which would tie a record. And the fact that he has won 9 gold medals in 3 Olympics across 3 events, it's insane. I mean, he's 9 for 9. So you look at that, and then you look at Phelps. No one's going to match that. All of a sudden, 2 kind of niche, true Olympic sports. I mean, a lot of people, when you think Olympics, I tend to think swimming, track and field, gymnastics when I think of Summer Olympics. 2 of those 3 are going to lose, kind of their stars. So it's going to be a tough grind for them.
Yeah.
And we mentioned swimming. We'd have to talk about Ryan Lochte. Thoughts on this story? I mean, the whole thing is just kind of insane. I want a 30 for 30 documentary about it, like, right now.
It'll have to be like a 30 for 90.
Yeah,
Rate. The thing that gets me is this payment that they made to a charity, like an independent charity. $11,000 payment so he could get his passport, so Fagan could get his passport back to get back to the United States. Otherwise, he would face prosecution, like criminal prosecution, like a big deal.
The most Brazilian story ever.
Right. So, I'm just kind of lost for words. I don't. It's a shame that some of our compatriots are behaving this way.
Yeah. The one thing I will say, the narrative that I don't really buy into at this point, and understand, I'm not defending Lochte's initial actions. But I will give him a pat on the back and be a little bit Team Lochte for saying, hey, at least he got out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Like everybody, Lochte's the most idiotic athlete of our generation. Who's back in the U.S. safe and sound, doing whatever he wants, hanging out? I mean, to his credit, he did something wrong and got out of it totally free.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk reputation, if anything, this probably raises brand awareness for the Lochte brand.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think anybody, this isn't going to do long-term damage to him. He's probably done with the sport. He's probably heading towards a career of who knows what. I don't want to speculate, but I don't have anything positive to say there. But it's not hurting his brand.
Right.
So Lochte kind of escaped there. Last thing I got is a medal count. Gold medals only. U.S. 35, Great Britain 22, China 20, Germany 13, Russia 12. So solid lead for the U.S. I called it yesterday. They're going to win the medal race. Bold prediction. That's all I got. You got anything else other than to talk about next week?
Yeah.
So told you we had some long form stuff coming up. Ben is actually hosting a long form podcast. He's recording it this evening. We're going to run that most likely Monday afternoon. And it's going to be really fun because it's somebody that Ben knows really well, has a great rapport with. Then tell them what you got going on.
Yeah, it's the old firm where I used to work. Very interesting investment advisor who I'm going to be speaking with. He was up in 2008, had a very strong 2009. We'll talk a little bit about his strategies. He runs some trading strategies, which is a little bit different than what we do here as well. So we might get into some options, some interesting opportunities kind of on the trading side as well. So it should be a nice diversifying experience for a lot of the viewers of the pod.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things we try to do is to broaden the net, cast it as widely as we possibly can, attract people in, and have good guests. It definitely sounds like we got one lined up, so we're excited. I'm excited to hear it. I know you're excited to do it. So should be good. That should be up Monday, so make sure you hit subscribe on iTunes so that you get that just spat at you when we got it ready. Y'all have a great day. I'm going to be back at lunchtime for the Stock Market Power Lunch with the unit, Matt Krebsbach, and that'll be the last podcast of the week. So y'all have a great morning. We'll talk to you later.
Tusk Media is a subsidiary of Narwhal Capital Management. Ratings and reviews of Tusk Media content are not to be construed as endorsements of opinions, analysis, or services offered by Tusk or its parent company. The opinions and predictions shared here are our professional beliefs at the time of publication. We are not under duress from any of the corporate entities mentioned. This is not a solicitation to take any particular action. Although we are investment advisors, this information should not be considered investment, legal, or tax advice. We strive to be as impartial, insightful, and accurate as possible. We base our opinions, analysis, and calculations on information we believe to be reliable, but we cannot guarantee its accuracy. We can, however, guarantee that our opinions will sometimes be flat out wrong due to a variety of factors. Employees and clients of Narwhal Capital Management may or may not hold positions in the securities detailed and may or may not hold these positions in the future. A full list of all securities purchased, sold, or held during the 12 months preceding the date of this publication can be provided upon request. Unless otherwise noted, all data accessed via MarketWatch or the Bloomberg terminal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. A copy of Narwhal's Form ADV is available at the SEC's website, www.advisorinfo.sec.gov, or from Narwhal upon written request.